Hello everyone, I'm Steven, your online English teacher, and in today's video we'll be doing a conversation called Media and Life. Now, for the full lesson, you can go to EnglishDreams.com and under Conversations, you will see Media and Life. You can also go down in the description area below and there's a link, and if you click that, it will take you straight to the lesson on my website. Now, this is a medium or intermediate level conversation, and the first time we do this, I will be doing the completed conversation, and for this, I'm going to read parts A and part B, and I will just read all the way through the conversation. Now, to practice your English, you can simply just listen and repeat what you hear me say. Okay? And the second time we do this conversation, we will be doing the creative version, and this is where it gets interesting. For that, I will be A and you will be B, and we will go back and forth. Okay? So let's go ahead and start with the completed conversation. Let's begin. Hello, James. How are you doing today? Oh, hello, Stephen. I'm doing just fine. And you? I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Hey, I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions about how media affects your life. Sure thing. Go ahead. How much time do you spend each week watching TV? Well, I probably watch around 5 hours of TV per week. I see. And what types of TV programs do you watch? I like to watch basketball games and the History Channel. What about the internet? Do you use it often? And why or why not? Well, I use the internet probably 5 hours a day because my work requires it, and then 1 or 2 hours each day at home. So I use it a lot. Great. What about the radio or MP3s or podcasts? Do you listen to anything on a daily basis? I don't listen to the radio, but I subscribe to a few podcasts and I listen to MP3s when I run in the morning. That's a good idea. And what about newspapers? Do you often read newspapers? And if so, what parts of the newspaper do you like to read? Newspapers. Well, to tell you the truth, I don't read the newspaper because I get all my news online. I think the newspapers are a little outdated. I totally agree with you on that one. And is music a big part of your life? Well, yeah, it is. I told you already I listen to music when I run, and I like to play music in my living room at home. I listen to a lot of music. That's nice. And what about movies? Movies? Oh, I love movies, especially action and comedy movies. They're great. I think so too. And my final question, how do you think all of this media has affected your life? I think that the overall effect of media on my life has been positive, but I need to remember not to overdo it, you know? Yep, I totally agree. Hey, thanks for your time, James. Take care. My pleasure, Stephen. Take care. All right, now we're finished with the completed conversation. Let's move on to the creative conversation. And this is where the conversation really gets interesting. So for this, I will read part A, and you can read part B. I will be called Stephen, and because I don't know you, we will call you friend, okay? So I'm going to read through my part first, and when I'm finished, I will give you about 5 seconds to go ahead and read your part and complete the unfinished sentence, okay? So I am sorry if I read too fast and I start reading when you're not finished, or if I read too slow and you're waiting for me to finish up, okay? So for a more natural conversation, after this video, go find someone and practice this with them. Okay, so let's get started. This is the creative conversation, media and life. Hello, friend. How are you doing today? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Hey, I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions about how media affects your life. how much time do you spend each week watching TV? I see. And what types of TV programs do you watch? What about the internet? Do you use it very often? And why or why not? Great. And what about the radio or MP3s or podcasts? Do you listen to anything on a daily basis? That's interesting. And what about newspapers? Do you often read newspapers? And if so, what parts of the newspaper do you like to read? I totally agree with you on that one. And is music a big part of your life? That's great. And what about movies? I see. And the final question, how do you think all of this media has affected your life? I totally agree. Hey, thanks for your time, friend. Take care. Okay, that's the end of the creative conversation. Now it's your turn. I need you to go and find someone, a friend, a family member, a coworker, and practice this conversation. So go to my website, and each of you can take turns. One person can be person A, someone can be person B, and then go ahead and read through this conversation. And when you're finished, go ahead and switch roles, and then you will be B, and they can be A, and you go through it. Now, in order to enjoy this a lot more, go ahead and try to be creative and funny with your answers. Remember to use facial expressions and body movements and some emotion when you're doing this conversation. If you need more practice, you can always click on the completed version of the conversation and practice that. Go through it several times until you feel comfortable enough to go back to the creative conversation. Thank you so much for watching. Please go to EnglishDreams.com for more lessons and resources. You can help me out by subscribing and sharing this video with family and friends. Remember to keep learning English and using it every day. I will see you next time.